Tank Man, someone you probably haven't heard about because the Chinese government has tried to cover up the Tiananmen Square incident of 1989. The only reason this hasn't worked and is open to the public is because CNN was there covering it. Tank Man was a student in China who was fed up with the government and wanted to take the issue into his own hands. The Tiananmen Square protest was just his chance. Tank Man stood against the Chinese government and more than 20 tanks. He could have been crushed or shot. He went in the line of Type 59 tanks holding nothing but shopping bags. When people saw him, they gathered and watched as he climbed the first tank and talked to the gunner, then the person inside the tank, who was commanding the whole operation. As you heard, there were a lot of gunshots and people were cheering for him. That takes a lot of courage to stand up to that many gunshots. During an interview, CNN photojournalist Jonathan Shaher recounts his experiences at the scene.
We ran down the street to our second hotel, our sort of hideaway hotel, which was called the Beijing Hotel. I think we were on the 6th floor, maybe the 7th floor, and we went up there where the rest of the CNN personnel were hiding out, and I set up my tripod as soon as we got up there on the balcony and put the camera on it, and that's what led up to it. We were all up there in the place, and me and Mitch, we were amazed at what was happening because we heard a lot of gunfire, a lot of cannon fire going off, and we were just amazed. And if you listen closely to the raw tape, you can hear us talking about it. And we saw the man jump out into the street. I didn't actually see it initially, actually. Another cameraman by the name of Kit Schwartz saw it, and he said, "Hey, look at that guy." So I trained my camera on him, and we saw him stand there, block the tanks, and there was some conversation going on. My lens was on its doubler, which means it was very far away. So it was a little bit shaky, as you can see on the film. And what happened was the tanks tried to go around him, and they couldn't. So then they stopped, and they thought they would try to scare him away by shooting their rifles or machine guns over his head. Well, over his head, 2 blocks down, was basically at us, and the bullets were coming by us so close that we could actually hear them go vroom, vroom, right over our heads. And at that point, we decided we'd just lock the camera down and go inside. And so we did. We left the camera rolling. We went inside, and we didn't go back outside until we heard the tanks going past us, and we figured whatever happened, we'll just find it on the tape. When we got back to the hotel after the cannon fire, there was pandemonium in the lobby of the hotel. We had heard rumors once we got in the door that the army was going to come. They had heard that there were journalists in the building, so that they were going to go searching room to room to confiscate video. And actually, one of our photographers, Cindy Strand, who had hung out in the women's latrine. Now, that was a very disgusting place to hang out in, but she captured some incredible video of the whole unfolding of that event. And when she got to the Beijing hotel, her tape was confiscated, so we never got to see her tape.
This real experience shows how much the government tried to keep the protest from the rest of the world. Tank Man was not the only one who took a stand during the 1989 Tiananmen Square protest, but Tank Man was unique in that he was the only one who was videographed and photographed. Now much is known about Tank Man because 2 men in black suits, probably from the government, dragged him away from the scene. He has not been heard from or seen since. After the incident, the British tabloid The Sunday Express named Tank Man as Wang Willian, a 19-year-old student from China. The claim, however, has been rejected by the internal Communist Party of China documents, which states that they have searched the computer files, but they cannot find him on the dead list or among those in prison. There are several conflicting stories about what happened to him after the demonstration. In a speech to the President's Club in 1999, Bruce Hutchinson, former Deputy Special Assistant to President Richard Nixon, reported that he was executed 14 days later. Other sources say that he was executed by a firing squad a few months after the Tiananmen Square protests. In Red China Blues, My Long March from Mao to Now, Jan Wang writes that she believes from her interactions with the government press that they have no idea who he was either, and that he is still alive somewhere on the mainland. Even today, 28 years later, if you ask a police officer or anyone else who works for the government in China what happened to Tank Man, they would not answer, or they would say it's classified. Some people think that he is a martyr because they think he is dead and he died for what he believed in at the Tiananmen Square protest in 1989. Tank Man, no matter if he is dead or alive, took a stand and made history.